Hi, my name is Rebecca and welcome to my channel. I have found some of the most beautiful decor for Valentine's Day in my local stores. I was shopping at the Ross and I bought some new lamps for my living room, and I realized that it had been 24 years since I had bought new lamps, and mine were beautiful and I loved them and I was attached to them, but I was kind of over that style. And so I was looking around at some of their decor pieces, and it just inspired me to create some pieces on my own. So come craft with me. I started my project out with 3 of these glitter hanging hearts from the Dollar Tree, and they have them in pink and red. They are absolutely beautiful. And I took my scissors and I cut the tags off as close as I could on the top of the heart. I didn't want to damage the styrofoam, so I made sure that I cut just pretty close. I'm going to cover that up anyway. I love these hearts because they're rounded on the front and then they're flat on the back. So if you want to make a hanging decor piece out of it, these things are just absolutely perfect for hanging decor. If you didn't want to cut the tags off, you could always just take a little bit of hot glue and hot glue the end to the back so that that wouldn't show. But I picked up 2 of these glitter heart sequin picks at the Dollar Tree, and they are just about the same color as the hanging hearts that I'm working with, and they really complement each other well. So I just kind of took the styrofoam end off and of the pick, and then I just hot glued them to the center of one of the hanging hearts. And then on the one that I'm going to use for the middle, I just put a little dab of hot glue on my little place where the ribbon was hanging, and then I just hot glued them kind of topsy-turvy, a little bit different. I picked up this beautiful pink ribbon. It's bound in silver at the Dollar Tree, and it's wired, so it's so easy to work with, and it's very delicate and sheer. They have come out with some gorgeous ribbon for this Valentine season at the Dollar Tree. I'm just a sucker for Dollar Tree ribbon, and when they come out with a new roll, a new style, a new design, I just snag one of each, just because I know if I don't use it this year, I can always use it next year. And ribbon is not that difficult to store. So I just made a cute little bow, just like a little shoelace bow out of this wired ribbon, and I kind of cinched it with some florist wire, and I made sure that I dovetailed the ends. But this sheer organza is just breathtaking. It's beautiful. I have said before, I'm just providing inspiration and I use the colors that I like. But if you want something more vibrant, or if you want to mix the pinks and reds with the hearts that they have in stock, then that would be beautiful too. I'm just going with what I visually think will look good in my home, because I craft with a purpose. And so that's what I choose. And I fell in love with this shade of pink that they have in stock. It's just, I don't know, it just fits right in with what I have in mind for my Valentine decor. And I kind of pinched the 2 loops between my fingers to make it look a little extra fluffy, and I added a little dab of hot glue onto my little styrofoam heart. And then when I put my bow on there, sorry, I'm having trouble speaking, then I just kind of cinched the loops together so it looked even more fluffy. And then I took some of the picks apart, the hearts that I was working on, and I just kind of glued that in the center. I'm wanting to put this together to be kind of a topsy-turvy type look, a little topsy-turvy heart. So I wanted to make sure that I had a bow in the middle, and then I had kind of similar on the 2 ends to group this together. But you know, do you, and if you wanted to even use 4 hearts, you could. I'm just working with 3 because that's my space that I need to hang this up. So I'm going to make a big fluffy bow for the top, and I had picked up this ribbon at the Dollar Tree, and I don't really want to do a bow tutorial, there are people who explain it so much better than I do. But to make a big fluffy bow is so very easy, especially using wired ribbon. That's a must. You just lay your loops together, end over end, and then you cut off the tail. I kind of gauge what size I'm going to use for my project, and that's the size that I usually go with. I probably made 6-inch loops on either side to begin with this, and then I made a companion piece just end over end, and I kind of fastened it with a chip clip, and I kind of used the interior of my bow to gauge how big my loops are from then on out. And then I just start kind of layering my ribbon, looping it end over end, cinching it in the middle, and then putting a chip clip on them to hold it together. And I wanted a big bow, so I'm doing 3. The bigger you make the loops and the more loops that you add, then the bigger your bow is going to be and the most fluffy it's going to be. So I just put my smaller ends in the middle of my chip clip, and then I had just one little piece left over, so I decided that I was going to make a little bit of a tail with the extra pieces, and I was going to use florist wire for this, and then I thought better of it and I wanted something more substantial, so I got out a zip tie. I laid my pieces that were in the chip clip on a diagonal, one this way, one that way. It's kind of hard to explain. You can just kind of watch what I'm doing. And then I put my tails in and I ran my zip tie down through the middle. There are some creators on YouTube and Facebook that do bow tutorials a lot better than I do, but this is just my quick, easy, simple bow, and it makes a big fluffy bow every time. And so I am going to use this smaller ribbon, and I wanted to bring just a little bit of touch in that, so I kind of looped my loops together, and then before I cinched it really tight, I just pushed this in through the zip tie right through the middle so that I would have some continuity of color and pattern. So then I just fluffed all that out. And with the zip tie, you can really put some elbow grease in it and fluff those bow tails out. And I did make sure that I dovetailed the ends of all of the pieces that were loose in my piece. I decided to add the very last pick of these little glitter sequin heart picks. I decided to add that in to give it just a little bit more height and to kind of tie my project all together. So I cut the tails off and I kind of splayed them out how I wanted them to be at the top, and kind of bent them and made them, work with my bow and my arrangement. And then I just took some hot glue once I got it where I needed for it to be, and I just hot glued that to the very back of my bow. This is all the embellishments that I'm going to add to this little decor piece, and it is so simple and so easy. I did not add any florals. I just used the 3 little glitter hearts from the Dollar Tree and then 2 of the sequined glitter heart picks. And I just made sure that that was all nice and secure. And I did take the florist wire that I cut to bind my bow together to begin with. I did take that and I kind of wired that around just for some extra security. I'm sure that the hot glue probably would have, stuck and bonded very well, but I just don't like it when my project comes apart, and so I like that little extra security. So then I decided, I didn't measure my ribbon, I just kind of eyeballed how I wanted my ribbon to lay, and I'm using the smaller checked ribbon, and I'm just going to kind of hot glue them piece over piece. And I made sure that when I hot glued it, it was on the inside so that when it's hanging out, nobody will see. You could do this on the back as well, but from the angle that I'm working at, it was just easier to glue it on the inside of the heart. And so I just laid it out and kind of eyeballed it. And I'm not really big on measuring. I fall short and I fail when it comes to measuring things. So I just eyeball a lot of my projects. And so this is one of those that I did. I just kind of figured out how taut I wanted my ribbon to be and the length of how far apart I wanted my hearts to fall, and I just did it with, just kind of flew by the seat of my pants. And I put these 3 hearts together, looping them with the little gingham check ribbon. I attached the bow kind of at the side of my heart, my top heart, and then I used my wire to make a hanger for it. And then once I had the hanger all nice and wrapped around my little heart, then I was just ready to hang it up. I did make sure after, I had put some hurt on this thing and, wallowed it around a little bit, that everything was fluffed out really good and everything was nice and fresh. I decided to hang this in the entryway as you come into my home so that everybody knows in my house it is time for Valentine's Day. So if you're like me and you get a little bit of the wintertime blues, all of the Christmas is down and everything looks beautiful and fresh, but you want to add just a little splash of color, I like to start at that point adding in some of my Valentine's Day decor, because it just makes the house feel like it can breathe again. And you've got some new life and new oomph to your step, and it kind of gets you over the winter blues. So don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell so that you know when I've uploaded my next video. Give me a thumbs up. I am so excited for all of my new subscribers, and I am pleased to welcome you. So thank you so much for watching Crafts, Laughs, and Chaos.